Hi there and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. I am Byron. Let's return to the Kakari Wilds.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. I thought you were dead for sure.
I'm not, thanks to Morrigan's mother.
Oh, this doesn't seem real. If it weren't for Morrigan's mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The chastened folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
I suppose we should thank you.
If you know what is good for you, I suppose you should.
Well, I want to say thank you. I don't need to bribe her apparently, but anyway, is there some way we can repay you?
All that I wish you to do is what you are meant to do. It has always been the Grey Warden's duty to unite the lands against the Blight. Or did that change when I wasn't looking?
It changed when most of them were slaughtered.
If you think small numbers make you helpless, you are already defeated.
But we were fighting the Darkspawn. The king had nearly defeated them. Why would Loghain do this?
Now that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon.
What could the Turn hope to gain by betraying the king?
The throne? He's the Queen's father. Still, I can't see how he'll get away with murder.
You speak as if he would be the first king to gain his throne that way. Grow up, boy.
If Al-Eamon knew what he did, he would never stand for it. The Landsmeet would never stand for it. There would be civil war.
You think the All would believe us over the Turn?
I suppose. Al-Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Kaelin's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course! We could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help.
Keep in mind that Loghain was also an honorable man.
The Jarl would never do what Tairn Loghain did. I know him too well. I still don't know if Al-Eamon's help would be enough. He can't defeat the Darkspawn horde by himself.
We need the rest of the Grey Wardens.
I don't know how to contact them, or if they're even on their way. We need to do something now.
You have more at your disposal than you think.
Of course! The treaties! Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Al-Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
Why not? Isn't that what Grey Wardens do?
So you are set then, ready to be Grey Wardens.
Yes. Thank you for everything, Flemeth.
No, thank you. You are the Grey Wardens here, not I. Now, before you go, there is yet one more thing I can offer you.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears. Ha ha!
Thank you, but if Morrigan doesn't wish to join us...
Her magic will be useful. Even better, she knows the wilds and how to get past the Horde.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
Was this your idea all along?
Pardon me, but I had the impression that you two needed assistance, whatever the form.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother? This is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite for Eldon against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. Even I.
I understand.
And you, Wardens. Do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
I understand.
Allow me to get my things, if you please. I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the wilds as our first destination. It is not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours.
No, I prefer you to speak your mind.
Haha, you will regret saying that.
Dear, sweet mother, you are so kind to cast me out like this. How fondly I shall remember this moment.
Well, I always said, if you want something done, do it yourself. Or hear about it for a decade or two afterwards.
Do you really want to take her along because her mother says so?
Isn't that the way it usually works? We need all the help we can get.
I guess you're right. The Grey Wardens have always taken allies where they could find them.
I am so pleased to have your approval.
Do I have razor blades under my arms? I mean, April, what the fuck's going on? Actually, I have some questions.
I may have answers. Ask.
Are you really Flemeth's daughter?
'Twas she who raised me, and thus I consider her my mother, born from her womb or not. 'Tis what you meant, yes?
I'm just wondering her age.
She would no more tell me than you, I assure you.
Have you never been outside of the wilds?
From time to time, I have been to the village I mentioned, watched its people, and pondered what curious beings they are. On occasion, I purchased goods from the village merchants. There I spoke with men a little. There they stared and knew me as an outsider. Mother wishes for me to expand the horizon of my experience beyond the wilds. Even she was not born here.
Is that what you want?
What I want is to see mountains. I wish to witness the ocean and step into its waters. I want to experience a city rather than see it in my mind. So, yes, this is what I want. Actually, leaving is harder than I thought, however. Perhaps Mother is right. It must simply be done quickly.
That's probably for the best. Tell me about this village to the north.
It is a small place of little consequence called Lothering. No more than a stop along your imperial highway where travellers purchase goods from local farms and smiths. I would go more often were it not for the town's chantry. It makes the village particularly intolerant and unpleasant for a stranger such as me.
A chantry? And they never in all this time thought that maybe you were a witch.
Of course they have. They even called out their Templars once. They found nothing.
Is there any reason to go to Lothering then?
I mention it for its tavern, where travellers gather with news from other places. 'Tis small enough that our appearance might go unnoticed. Beyond that, 'tis close, and I know the way.
How are we going to get past the Darkspawn?
The real question is how we are going to get your friend past the Darkspawn, is it not?
That's true. We can sense the Darkspawn. Conversely, they can sense us.
I don't sense any Darkspawn.
You won't right away. No. It takes time. We should be able to sneak past smaller groups, but larger ones, or particularly intelligent Darkspawn, will always detect us.
Mother has given me something else for them to smell instead as we pass by. It is important we head out of the wilds, however, not farther in.
The Darkspawn are kept farther in the forest?
They come from underground, like an eruption. They broke through deep within the forest, and that is where they will be most concentrated.
What skills do you have exactly? Well, she's a mage.
I know a few spells, though I am nowhere near as powerful as Mother. I have also studied history and your Grey Warden treaties.
Can you cook?
I can cook, yes.
Then you can substitute for Alistair.
Right, my cooking will kill us. That's all I meant.
I also know at least 15 different poisons that grow right here in this marsh. Not that I would suggest 'tis at all related to cooking.
Well, I think your mother seems to think that we are needed for something important, so maybe killing us off early might not be the best solution. No more questions.
Farewell, Mother. Do not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear.
Okay. We get stuff. Lots of stuff. So, I mean, if the blight is bothering Flemeth, she could just fly away, couldn't she? Oh. Alistair's mother was a servant girl who died when Alistair was very young. He was raised by Eamon Garin, the Earl of Redcliffe, for a time. That's how he knows him. Eamon Garin. Nobility does not exist without obligation. We owe all we have, even our lives, to our land and our people. As the maternal uncle of King Caelan, Eamon is one of the king's most trusted advisors. Redcliffe, while not a large or especially wealthy part of Ferelden, is a critical strategic location. The fortress guards the western path that leads to Orlais, as well as the major trade route to Orzammar. A well-respected man, though not the most charismatic, King Caelan once said of him, "My uncle Eamon is a man everyone thinks well of, when they remember to think of him at all." And we have Morrigan. Of herself, Morrigan says little. She does not deny being a witch of the wilds, but beyond that, everything about her is in question. Her mother claims to be Flemeth. If that's true, the Morrigan might be a... The Morrigan? That's a weird way to put it. If that's true, Morrigan might well be a very powerful witch, for the tales of the daughters of Flemeth tell of twisted, monstrous women who can kill a man with fear. She was made to accompany the surviving Grey Wardens, the payment Flemeth said for saving their lives at the Tower of Ishal. Does Flemeth have a thingy here too? That's in... I didn't read that, did I? You are required to do nothing, least of all believe. Ages ago, legend says Ban Konobar took to wife a beautiful young woman who harbored a secret talent for magic. Flemeth of High Ever and for a time they lived happily, until the arrival of a young poet, Ozen, who captured the lady's heart with his verse. They turned to the chastened tribes for help, and hid from Conobar's wrath when the wilds until words came to them that Conobar lay dying. His last wish was to see Flemeth face one final time. The lovers returned, but it was a trap. Conobar killed Ozen and imprisoned Flemeth in the highest tower of the castle. In grief and rage, Flemeth worked a spell to summon a spirit into this world to wreak vengeance upon her husband. Vengeance she received, but not as she planned. The spirit took possession of her, turning Flemeth into an abomination. A twisted, maddened creature, she slaughtered Conobar and all his men and fled back into the wilds. For 100 years Flemeth plotted, stealing men from the chase to sire monstrous daughters, horrific things that could kill a man with fear. These Kokari witches led an army of Chasen from the wilds to strike at the Almari tribes. They were defeated by the hero Cormac, and all the witches burned, so they say. But even now the wilders whisper that Flemeth lives on in the marsh, and she and her daughter steal those men who come too near. Morgan's mother saved the last Grey Wardens from death at the top of the Tower of Ishal, but just who or what Flemeth truly is a mystery. No, I never read that. That's a new one. Anything else? No. Oh, and we have gotten some quests, is that correct? Alistair thinks that you should seek the help of Eamon Garin, the Earl of Redcliffe. Earl Eamon is a highly respected noble and has a great deal of influence in the Landsmeet. Alistair believes that he will certainly aid you once he learns about Logain's betrayal. You need to travel deep underground to the fabled dwarven city of Orzammar to earn the trust of her king and dwarven troops for your army. Ah, we have also gained the cooperation of the Dalish clans. The wandering Dalish elves, if brought together, are a force to be reckoned with. While they remain suspicious of outsiders, hey, April is an elf. They may still honor the old Grey Warden treaties, go to the Dalish elves and seek their help to fight in the Blight. The Circle of Magi is a group of powerful mages. If you can enlist their help, they will prove formidable against the Darkspawn. The Circle Tower is situated on Lake Cullenheart. So this is where we got to go, and we still have to deliver the thingy, the box to Jetta and Redcliffe, and we still have stuff here. How do I mark that as active? What would that do? Do I have it on the map now somehow? No. What time is it? Oh, we still have time. Do you have anything else to say, Flemeth?
Have you not left yet? I hope you are not hanging about for some stew.
You could come with us, you know.
Ah, I prefer to remain here. Considering what the world has done to me, I have already done more than it deserves.
And what has the world done to you?
That is between the world and me. Your business is elsewhere.
Well, I'm a part of the world, so... But you are more powerful than we are.
It is not a matter of power. No one person in all of Thedas has enough power to stand against a blight. Were that the case, sending you two would be quite the jest. What is important is that you are both Grey Wardens. Your task is to unite the land, inspire its men, and turn them from their petty politics to face the archdemon. In that, you are more powerful than I by far. I am but an old woman whom the world has largely forgotten.
Could you answer some questions?
Questions. One would think a Grey Warden would be more interested in action.
Well, it's probably a good idea to have information before you decide on the course of action. Can I ask you about your magic?
Looking for new spells. Secrets you think old Flemeth has cooked up over the years. Well, they're of no use to you without years of practicing my ways. I am not like your circle with its books, you see. Not that I would mind a replacement daughter to order around.
Believe me, you do not want that.
How long have you lived in the wilds?
Since before I was wrinkled and old. Ah, you may think it strange, but I was once young and beautiful, just as Morrigan is now. Yes, men desired Flemeth then, and some even killed for her.
You don't seem happy about that.
I am not, nor was I then. It dictated all that followed. But enough. You have your task to complete.
What will you do once we are gone?
Oh, have a moment's peace for once.
I hear the peace of the grave is eternal.
This is the thanks I get for feeding you and putting up with you for this long. Ah, may your child one day treat you the same.
Feed me, she says. Without me, I swear, she shall be caked in dirt and eating tree bark inside of a month.
Do you have any advice?
About the Darkspawn?
About anything, really.
Then hear this. I laugh at a world full of stupid humans who ignore the Blight's evil and abandon their vigilance to chase mortal goals. Remember, it is up to you to destroy the Blight. Pray not for someone else to destroy it. It will always nip at your heels.
I have no more questions, apparently.
Then we are done. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some dinner to eat.
I don't know.
Have you not left yet? I hope you are not hanging about for some stew.
Anything else?
Questions. One would think.
Apparently
Then
not.
we are.
What about you?
The time has come to leave the wilds. Do you not agree?
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
He was like a father to you, I understand.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
He had you.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
Yeah, the guilt of the survivors, I know. He saved your life by sending you to the tower.
Yes, I know. I think he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
No, not really, not since I went to the tower.
That must have felt a lot like when I got sent to the Chantry. You mages don't even get a say in the matter, after all. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Maybe I'll go to High Evan with you. High Ever with you when you go.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
And he approves. That's nice.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together.
So you were addicted to this lyrium?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templar's talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Anything else?
What do you need? Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
Very well, I respect your word.
Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all.
It's not something useful, too. But anyway, we will get it eventually. After a while he will like us better and then...
What do you need? Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here, but I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
So what happens now that there's just 2 of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
What will we need to start rebuilding the Order?
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, I've got no more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough.
Yeah, we're
what
not
do you
done.
need?
No, at least not by a long shot.
Ask away.
This is a talking episode. Tell me about... No, we already had that. So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
I mean before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Maybe I'm not.
What do you need?
We
Ask
will
away.
get to the bottom of things now. You said this Al-Eamon raised you?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That's not what I remember you telling Flemeth.
Well, if you're going to go and pay attention to the facts, then fine. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Al-Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Why did he send you off to the Chantry?
Al-Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
You were probably luckier than most orphans.
I suppose you're right. I wasn't raised as the Arl's son, though, if you're picturing that. I slept in hay, out in the stables, not on silk sheets. I remember I had an amulet, with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall, and it shattered. Stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
Are you sure he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him, you'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Okay, the codex has been updated. What's new? Okay, yeah, this is the information we got. That's good, thank you. Okay, so that's all nice and well. The exit is somewhere in this direction, I assume. Yep. So, a lot of talking, but we have gotten some useful information, and it was important. And yeah, so we will take a break now, and we will continue in the next video, where actually something might happen. I don't know. Or we do some more talking. Whatever will be the case, I thank you very much for watching and wish you a pleasant day. Good.